Hey y'all, and welcome to a brand new video. So today I decided that I was going to try out POSCAS for the very first time. I will preface this by saying that I have used paint markers before, but I haven't used POSCAS, and I've heard a lot of things, I've watched a lot of things, and I wanted to try them. So let's get started. So the very first thing that I am going to do is lay down a piece of cardboard because I film all of my videos at my desk, which my computer takes up a lot of space, and I don't want to mess up my mouse pad because I don't know how messy this will be. Now I got these POSCAS also for Christmas and they arrived kind of damaged. That one I had to tape up because I don't have proper storage for them yet, and I'm just keeping them in the boxes for now. The very first thing that I ended up doing, because I do know a little bit about paint pens, I've used them before in the past for certain projects for my mom, is that you have to activate them by pressing down on them a lot. And I just used this random piece of paper that I had, and I actually used it in a different video, that's why there's already paint on it. But I just did a bunch of that, whatever you want to call that. I really wanted kind of a light pastel theme, and I'm really obsessed right now with painting blobs and then outlining the blobs as flowers. It's been very freeing for me, so I decided that I was going to do it for this painting because I've never worked with POSCAS and that's what I'm obsessed with. That's all I could really think about at this point, and yeah, I did it. Very first thing that I did with this canvas was I started to do the borders. I did attempt to start working on the background of this with a smaller Posca, but I quickly realized that while this canvas is pretty small, it is still a pretty large area to cover with paint marker. So you'll see me start off with the smaller one, and then I switch to the bigger one, and then I will switch back to the smaller one to do touch-ups and stuff. Next, I worked on painting in the blobs. Like I said, I was going for a pastel theme, so I mainly used pink, purple, and this teal blue. I like all the colors together. This is kind of what I like in my day-to-day. When it comes to like my furniture and stuff like that, I do like neutrals. Gray is like my favorite, which it sounds very HGTV and very basic, but I love a good gray. I love a good gray, and then you pop in those pops of color and so nice. But there's no gray in this painting. There's just pink, purple, teal, and some yellow and yellow-orange. So I got these POSCAS technically for Christmas, though no one handed them to me. I ended up actually getting an Amazon gift card, and I used this gift card to purchase some POSCAS. I also purchased some other art supplies that you've seen and will see in the coming weeks. I do have another video planned for this week, since this video was supposed to come out like 3 weeks ago, but it's a midterm season, so I have been stressed. So this video is coming out much later than anticipated, and I've actually forgotten a lot about what I did during this painting, which really sucks. At this point, I am doing the entire background. I've drawn all the blobs, I've drawn the leaves, and now it's just time to fill out the background. I did continue that purple flower on the side around the border because I just thought it would look weird if it wasn't wrapped around the border like the rest of the blue. That's one thing that I've seen artists do, especially here on YouTube, is that sometimes they'll do a different color on the border, or they won't wrap around the design onto the edges. And like, I understand from a practicality standpoint that that's really hard to do, and Most of the time, people aren't going to see that, but for my neurodivergent self, that is so annoying. At this point, I have started to really do the outlines and actually get in close to the flower with one of these smaller paint pens. And yeah, this painting was really straightforward. I had fun. I will say that. This painting was very, very fun to do. I didn't really like how it ended up. Throughout the entirety of the video, you'll see me like put my hands into fists because I'm so frustrated, and I wanted to get that across in the video because I didn't know when this was actually going to be coming out. Like I said, it was planned about 3 weeks ago at this point, but I knew because of it being midterm season that may not go out at the right time. So while I wanted to stay on schedule, I had a feeling I probably wasn't going to. I was so annoyed with how this ended up. It wasn't how I envisioned it, but it was also POSCAS. It was paint pens. It's not going to be as free as I would have liked, but you'll see on my next video that sometimes being free is not the best at all. But I will say the POSCAS were really, really nice. They were smooth to work with. They were very pigmented, very opaque. I only had to do a couple of touch-ups in certain areas, but it wasn't so much because the paint was see-through. It was mainly because I missed spots. Yeah, you see that is one of the fists. I wasn't happy with it. I really wasn't, and I still am not. And at one point I just started adding dots everywhere because I wasn't happy with it at all. But I think honestly, with zero experience and not really knowing what I'm doing and just trying to have fun with art for the first time since I was a kid, I think this came out pretty good for that reason alone. Yep, here I go with the dots. Like I said. Oh god. Well, it is what it is, you know? I had fun. I didn't like how it ended up, but I had fun. And that's all that matters. At least I keep telling myself that, what my channel's all about. sometimes that's really hard to live by, and this was one of those moments. Sometimes it's just, you want art to be fun and you try to have a fun time with art, but sometimes it's just hard to do that, especially when you get frustrated with a painting. I knew I wanted to add centers, so I got some yellow out. I hadn't previously taken it out, and I used 2 different shades, and I did the centers with just tiny little dots. And here's the final painting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if I bored you with my rambling. I will see you guys later on this week. Bye, y'all.